Hey, I'm Bob.
I'm Jake.
Welcome back to the Nailed It the podcast, where we talk about anything, all things, and no things all at once.
Absolutely.
Episode 2 is going to be here for everyone to hear. Obviously, we're recording it now. We're a little later than we wanted to be. It's been, say, a month. But these things take time when you're trying to rush, as our last episode was called, to perfection. So
Yeah.
here we are to keep it rolling.
So welcome back.
Welcome back, everyone. Welcome back to our many viewers, and thank you to everybody who did indeed listen to the podcast when we put it up that first week. We hit some double-digit numbers, so I'm happy with that.
Yeah.
Hopefully we can keep it going, but first we have to record something.
Absolutely. And I liked the feedback that we got from the first episode.
Yeah, very good feedback. People were very happy to give their opinions. But they were all good opinions. They were all constructive or, things that we can use. So
Yeah.
I'm happy with that. So what's new with you, buddy?
I mean, it's been taking us a bit to get back into doing this. I've been busy with, side projects, whether that be with comic books, wrestling, or just music in general. I think I might have done one acoustic show. Actually, no, I talked about that on the last show, so it has been a while since I've played music.
Yeah,
live.
We've had some time to build up some stuff, but I don't have a lot to talk about in anything. There's nothing extra, but
Yeah. But yeah, pretty much just been sticking with the training with wrestling. Update on the comic book.
yeah, absolutely.
We finished scripting. So scripting is completely done. The book should be fully lettered and ready to go to print. We're aiming by the end of this coming week.
So, and you're still on your timetable for a free comic book day.
Yep.
For those of you who might have missed the first episode, shame on you. But if you did, Jake has a book he's doing with his brother that they're, as he just said, getting into the final stretch here to get it out to people. So
Yeah, we had realized how fast we need to get the ball rolling because we realized we're now in April and free comic book days in a month.
yeah, you're a month away, like this week, the 6th, isn't it? First Saturday in May.
Yeah. Oof.
So you'll get that.
We're gonna have to express ship the books here, the 2-day shipping to get them here in time. But
whatever gets it done, man.
yeah. Other than that, nothing's really been keeping me busy other than just those two things.
Well, no, I don't think that's 100% true. I saw at least since we last recorded, you did at least one and working on the second cover song.
Oh yes,
Yeah.
I did do some little side projects with recording some covers. The one that I did release on my Facebook page was Band on the Run.
Right.
Because I think I talked about this a little bit in the first episode, that me being a big McCartney fan and just a Beatles fan and stuff like that, I had listened to the Foo Fighters version of Band on the Run.
Right.
And there's bits to that version that I was like, this could be a super heavy cover, which this will lead into my next topic with covers.
Oh, yes.
But
You have things to say about
I have some things to say. I have a certain way that I like doing covers, and I wanted to do my own rendition of Band on the Run in the way that I wanted to hear it. Not
Right.
to say anything about McCartney's or Foo Fighters needed to be changed, but I wanted to hear how I could construct it.
Right.
And I was pretty proud of it.
I enjoy it.
I've done several covers that I'll finish them and I'll never do anything with them. I'll
Right.
never release them or I'll never do it.
You do them for the sake of doing them.
Pretty much.
Gotcha.
There's been a handful of ones I'll post online. I did one last spring of Sweet's Fox on the Run.
Okay.
That was a fun one to do because you don't hear many people cover songs by Sweet.
I was gonna say, yeah, not big on the cover lists.
And it's always one of these random, I'll hear it in a shuffle and I'll quick write it down and be like, this could be really cool as a cover. Go back and listen
I
to
do
it.
that a lot for adding songs, and then I never come back to telling anyone about them because I forget.
But yeah, Fox on the Run and Band on the Run were the two that I had last released. But the current one I'm working on is a cover of the new Defiant song.
I saw that you posted about working on a cover from a local band.
Yes.
That was just a day or two ago, so I haven't had a chance to talk to you about it. So I was curious there's not too many local bands that we're all friends with that you can pull a song from. So that actually tracks.
So it's a cover of their new song, Ignite the Sky, which I've been a big fan of since I heard it.
Right.
And they were so gracious enough to actually let me use it as my entrance theme for wrestling. So,
so you're using theirs or are you using?
Oh no, I'm gonna use theirs.
Thanks for letting me use your song. I'm gonna redo it so it sounds like me.
But it's actually
pretentious.
It's actually really funny though, because both of them, or both Joe and Al from Defiant, both reached out and they're like, "This song, like, it sounds cool. Like, we like your version of it. It's super cool." It just made me feel good.
That's very cool. Yeah, that's cool that they're behind it, not just like, yeah, man, go ahead because we're friends, we know you, but do your thing. They gave you some feedback, which is good feedback, so that's cool.
Yeah. Trying to think, anything else that's been going on?
So you haven't played any gigs since last?
No, I haven't done any gigs, but we do have one coming up.
We have one coming up in
2 weeks.
Yeah, well, it's 2 weeks basically from today. So yeah, which this is not going to air the day we're recording, so that would be April 15th.
Yes, April 15th at Riverside Camping Association.
Yes, in Lancaster. Full band on that one. So,
I'm so excited. I love our full band shows.
So Dave and Ken will be allowed to play with us this time.
Bald Dave and never Ken.
Ken, he got so upset about that. And that's why we're going to keep calling you that, Ken, because I know you're going to listen to this episode.
It's all out of love, Ken.
It sure is, buddy. It's all a joke. You know. Drummers don't get microphones. That bleeds over to podcasts. And Dave and I have a show Friday night.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, because I'm going
the 7th at the Valley Tavern in Seven Valleys, one of our favorite places to do gigs.
Yeah, because I'll be there.
It's their apparently their adult Easter egg hunt that night while we're playing, and I'm told that's a huge deal. But I've never actually seen one of these things. But I'm told from other clubs that do them what a crazy thing these can turn into. So, and they're talking it up like it's the greatest thing they do every year. So I'm really looking forward to it.
You know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna take a bucket from work and bring it with me. One of my ace buckets.
There you go. There you go. Yeah, I'm not sure what to expect, but I'm expecting a good time because we always do have one there. So.
Yeah, Valley Tavern is so cool. In the times that you guys have played there, that I've come up and played with you guys,
right?
It's always been super fun.
Yeah, it's definitely a good time, and you get your chance. There's way late in the year. There's one coming, which I don't know if I told the both of you, but the reason I couldn't play is gone now.
Oh, really?
So I'm available, but I'm just going to come and watch you guys play.
Okay. So now you know how I
can
feel.
be the guy who comes and watches. Yeah, my other gig got canceled because unfortunately the venue's no longer having any entertainment.
Oh, really?
Yeah, unfortunately, Sickman's Metal down in Lancaster and Peckway.
Really?
We had such a great time playing there last year every Friday.
Yeah.
Or once a month we played. And it's right on the water and outside. It's just cool. And apparently, neighbors are dicks down there. The one people that are across the river there.
Yeah.
Were calling in complaints like every night.
Yeah.
The township just said you got to stop, and they don't want the hassle anymore, so they're not doing any audible music, which is a odd thing because they do weddings and stuff there.
Yeah.
So they can't have a DJ. They can't. I don't know. It's a shame though.
Sucks.
Joe and his people there were really cool, and it's a shame we're not gonna get to do it. But I will be around to watch you guys play for once. And,
yeah.
And
now you know how I feel.
Right.
I did just discover that fire department, or that like VFW that's right next door.
Yeah.
There's a bunch of wrestling shows that get hosted right in there.
Really?
Yeah, because my coach was wrestling there. Jeez, this was a couple weeks ago already, and I had seen the flyer and it said Seven Valleys. I was like, well, Seven Valleys is not very big.
Yeah, that's got to be a very specific place.
And so I looked up, like I do for anything, is I look up one specific location that I know is in that town.
Right.
So I looked up Valley Tavern, and I looked up the address of this place, and it's right next door.
Parking lot. Yeah. That's cool.
But yeah, I thought that was kind of funny. I had to chuckle at that.
Yeah, I didn't know they did stuff down there.
I didn't either.
I mean, I don't keep track of all the VFW coming and going, but I mean, that makes sense. It's a place that they would have something like that. So that those places always have room.
Yeah, oh yeah,
that's
absolutely.
Sure. They're always big buildings for lots of people. So.
Mm-hmm. Trying to think what else has been going on. Recently just went to the Underground.
Yes, I was gonna get to that. I know this place. I played there many years when it was Galifty's.
Mm-hmm.
In my storied career here in the local area. To be fair, not one of my favorite places to play. It never was. It was an old sound system, and it was dingy, and nobody really wanted to go down to the basement. You know,
right.
It had a weird vibe. There was a time when it was busier back in the day, but it got really bad. And then of course it went under. Now I have not been in there since it's reopened.
Okay.
I understand there's all new sound.
Oh
lights,
yeah.
They redid it, and so I hope it works. it's got a cool old school thought to it that you got to go down the stairs.
Yeah.
They're literally to the underground.
Yeah.
And I hope they can, work a different way of making it, viable, because it was a neat idea and it had its place, but it died off. When it died off, it died off quickly.
Yeah.
And it stopped being fun for bands to play there.
Right.
A lot of guys I talked to just didn't enjoy being there anymore.
Yeah.
From the top, top line down to the lowest new guys, nobody enjoyed it because it wasn't a great room because they stopped caring about it.
Mm-hmm.
So I understand it's new people and new ways of doing things. So you've been there now and I haven't.
Yeah, so this was my first time being there, and I had heard that about the underground when they had reopened and everything, and Hot and Dangerous was playing
Awesome.
there with
Shout out to Hot and Dangerous.
Yep, those are
Every week I'm sure that's going to come up.
And they were playing with the Cretans, the Ramones tribute band,
Yep.
and that was my first time seeing them, which. Those who know me, I don't know if I've ever told you this. We probably had this conversation.
I'm sure.
But I'm not a big Ramones fan in the slightest.
I believe this has been mentioned, and I'm not either in so much as I didn't. It's nothing I listen to, and I understand them, and I've covered them.
Yeah.
But it's not something I'll reach for to listen to, only because it's just not that style of punk rock is not going to Ramones or going to like Sex Pistols or any of that like classic hardcore kind of punk rock from way back. It was never my music.
Yeah,
just not for me.
Oh, same for me. I think the only real genre the only band from that genre that I will go out of my way to listen to is the Misfits.
And that's another one I never got into, but I think I would have to say I'm more familiar with Ramones stuff, which most of the general public probably is.
Yeah.
But respect's not the word, although I don't mean it disrespectfully. I have more interest in the Misfits stuff I've heard.
Yeah.
Than I do any of the other,
No, yeah, that's fair.
mainline or well known.
Yeah. So I was seeing the Cretans. They opened up the show, and they sounded awesome. I told some people that I talked to the next day, I was like, I liked them more than I liked the Ramones.
Well, I've heard some good things about them, but I have not seen them.
Yeah, and I had seen videos online because Paul, their bassist, is the bassist from Defiant.
Oh, okay.
So being friends with all of them.
I didn't realize it was a connection there, but I should know better. It's the local music scene.
It's the local.
We all do everything.
So seeing them live was super cool. They sounded better than the Ramones, but that's again because I'm not the biggest Ramones fan.
What you like.
And Hot and Dangerous was the headliner, and I think they initially played. I think their initial set was like an hour 15-ish, but everybody wanted more, so they played for an extra 45 minutes.
That's understandable.
And I was very surprised because they played songs I'd never heard them play.
Well, let's be honest here. Not just because we have a personal connection to them and they're friends and we enjoyed seeing them play. On top of that,
right?
They were. Just at an award show Thursday night because they were nominated for Best Cover Band. And that, to me, has a different connotation with that because they don't play that much.
Right.
So to get that from the peers and the people that set that up and decide who's being nominated to win or not win, which they unfortunately did not this year, but I believe it's their second year in a row, too. They got nominated for that.
2
Not
years
only
in a row.
They get nominated for Best Female Vocalist.
Yeah.
Which,
is
deserved.
Fully understandable.
They have done that with little shows.
Yeah.
There's other bands out there that are playing all the time.
Mm-hmm.
And, let's say your Emily's Toy Boxes, for instance.
Right.
May not never make that ballot, and they may not care. But if you go to one of their shows, it's a polished act. They've been doing it for 20-some-odd years. This lineup with them's probably been together 4 or 5 years. Like, they know their thing. So if you're looking at it objectively from outside, to be a band like Hot and Dangerous that doesn't play that much, to get that on that list with bands is pretty impressive and well deserved as far as I'm concerned.
Absolutely.
Not just because of my personal bias.
Yeah. And the other thing is that some of these other bands that I've seen play around here are either playing with a backing track or things like that. To give them an assisted backing, where with a band
party tracks too.
Yeah.
It depends. To be fair, as a guy who's done many different kinds of cover bands all along the range, if you're doing the party scene, that's super acceptable as far as I'm concerned.
Right.
But they're not.
Yeah, and that's where I was going at, because like I won't bash anybody that uses a backing track for any kind of thing,
Right.
but to to back Hot and Dangerous up even more is that they don't do that, nor do they need that.
They don't need it, and doing the songs with one guitar.
Yeah.
It's
basically three instruments and a vocalist.
Right.
Like they don't have the dueling guitar solos for anything.
No rhythm guitar for that matter.
Yeah,
It's just a
they don't
standard
need it.
4-piece.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, they do not need it. Shout out to the Rock Doc.
Yeah, to the Rock Doc.
He knows his thing, man. That's again, we obviously have a personal friendship and relationship with these guys and gals, but they deserve it. I never tire of seeing them.
Me neither.
I gave them their first show. Listen to me, Mr. High and Mighty, back in my unhigh and mighty days.
I was like, it's been a while since I've seen them play, because I forget why I couldn't make.
You didn't make the last one they did up at not Galifty's.
Love Drafts.
I'm sorry, Love Drafts.
Yeah, I forget why I wasn't there.
Yeah, we went up to that. And that's the last time I saw him. I couldn't make it this past gig. I was off in Camperland, but
yep.
um,
And well, I'm sure you saw the pictures.
And I was actually going to. You took pictures while you were there, which are very good at that too.
Well, thank you.
Yeah, must be nice to have multiple talents.
But they were like 2 songs in, and I saw. Who was it? I saw someone walking around. It was somebody from PA Musician.
Probably Rachel.
She was there, but she wasn't taking pictures. It was some guy. But I saw them taking pictures.
So I'm a little out of touch with PA Musician anymore. I used to advertise with them religiously for 15 years probably, and COVID came around and I just kind of laid off. And I feel bad for that because that family is super awesome. We have kind of personal relationships with them outside of the magazine, but Rachel is a hell of a supporter. So
oh my gosh, she's fantastic.
I love that she shows up when she can, where she can, and she's now with a media company too.
Yeah,
that's her main gig. PA Musicians is her family thing. She still does, and but I couldn't honestly tell you who does pictures for him anymore or any of that.
I know
her brother's running it basically now. Her brother Josh Knoll, her mom and her father Whitey, who passed I want to say last year or year before. I feel awful for not remembering that, but hell of a guy, man. You ever want to hear some music stories? He's been doing it a long time, but I mean they've been doing that magazine forever.
For a while,
And the son took over. Josh took over it because they were, mom just didn't want to do it on her own.
Right.
And I'm glad he did. And Rachel still contributes, even though she's very busy, and they keep it going. And I'm sure they have other people involved now. There was a time when I could go, well, that's this guy. That guy covers this region, and I was paying attention.
Yeah.
So, but I'm sure they have people that go out and do stuff too.
Oh yeah,
so.
Yeah. Because like I said, I saw someone taking pictures at this show, and I was like, wait a minute, I have my camera in my car because I think I had just gotten done doing pictures for the wrestlers.
You didn't go there with the intention, oh, well, I'm here, I'm going to get pictures.
No, I didn't even think like first thing that I had my camera. Until I saw someone taking pictures, I was like, "Wait a minute! I have my camera in my car. Why don't I take some pictures?"
And I saw those pictures today, not yesterday. Today, excellent pictures.
Well, thank you. I had said to Erica because she had posted. Well, all 3 of them posted pictures that I took, and I think I had commented. I think it was Erica's that I had commented on, and I said, "I'm really glad all you guys like these because these are some of the best pictures I've taken."
I would agree. Not that I'm critiquing your pictures, but I mean they are definitely some really, really good shots. So
yeah,
I think you probably found the sweet spot in there with the lighting and what was going on. And
it's sometimes as from a photographer's standpoint, it is so hard to sometimes get pictures in such a dark room.
Right.
But that stage is so well lit that I was able to find that, like you said, that sweet spot to.
And I could see that, and I could see again the new lighting and stuff. I could see in the pictures the difference because again I spent enough time playing there. I know what it looked like, and it definitely lends to getting a cool rock photo.
Oh yeah.
The backlighting's cool, and you got some cool uplight, and you caught some really good images.
Thank you. Oh, another local band that I just recently saw. Actually, I think I saw them. Was it in February? No. maybe it was like late February, but our friends in Leadfoot.
Oh, okay.
Which
you had not seen them before?
No, that was my first time seeing them.
I believe we talked about this before you went to the show that you had.
Yes, that's right, because you were telling me how much I'd like them.
Yes, I definitely know that you would like them because that's your thing,
Absolutely.
not my thing. That again, I almost feel like I have to preface this every time. Nothing against those guys. They've been doing it a long time and they're very good at it.
Absolutely.
Not my genre of stuff. So I understand why people were into it, and I knew you'd be into it because of what they were playing.
It was so funny though because so this was at TI's.
Right.
And that was my first time actually seeing a show at TI's.
Really?
I had never been in that back room.
Ah, the old tourist thing. I could spend several podcasts talking about just the times I played there. Nevertheless, anything else I ever did.
Yeah, I never played there.
A lot of shows in there. It's a different room than it was. Unfortunately, back to the crabby neighbors and sound ordinances thing. They've had to change a lot in there how they do stuff. But
gotcha.
It's definitely. There was a time when I would have considered that the best sounding room for a band, at least performing in York County.
Yeah.
Period.
That is a very cool stage. Like I really enjoyed it, and like I said, I enjoyed the music.
Right.
And I had to laugh because throughout their set, I'm sitting there and I'm jamming and I'm getting all into it, and I'm singing along to some of these songs. And I look over at Lauren, and she's like, "I don't know this song."
That makes sense. You do, and she does not.
But then, like the hook would come around in the song, and she'd be like, "I know it."
Yeah, she'd have to hear the most familiar parts. Clearly, that's what the hook is for.
I think the one that sticks in my head the most that night was when they played "Lick It Up," the Kiss tune.
Right.
Because next to the Beatles is Kiss for me.
Hey,
I
look,
know.
We have video this time. You can see the weird looks on you. It's not just the whole audio.
But not just Kiss for the makeup and the theatrics. While that is a big attraction for me.
Right.
If you look at their other stuff, when they didn't have the makeup, when they didn't have...
You mean the times everyone complains about?
Yes.
Yeah. Even I know that.
Because like you look at those albums, and I have a very big appreciation for those albums, like Crazy Nights, Hot in the Shade, Lick It Up, Animalize, and like all those albums.
Really?
Oh my God, yeah. Those albums are some of the, in my opinion, some of the more well written ones, but also for that era.
Right.
It fits very well.
I got you.
Because you go back to the first few albums, like the self-titled Dress to Kill and Destroyer, those are very good 70s rock albums.
Which is what they're meant to.
Yes.
It's sidebar net. A friend of mine I went to high school with, he had just posted on the socials the other day that he was never into Kiss when he was young, but he's just recently gotten into them, and now he understands what they did for music, for the genre, and why people were so into them.
I also use them a lot. I used them in an argument recently.
Oh.
It was an online argument.
Oh, please.
Because I know you like these. So I think I had initially sparked this interest, I would call it, through TikTok. I was scrolling through TikTok, and because you and I both know, as being musicians, we get the music TikToks.
A lot of music stuff.
I was getting a ton of Rammstein ones.
That's weird. I'm not sure I've ever seen a Rammstein TikTok.
Oh my God, I get so many of them.
What did you click on? You don't even like Rammstein.
No, I don't.
Yeah, that's weird.
But that was what also sparked it. Was I'm not a big Rammstein fan at all.
Right.
I think I know 2 songs by them.
I think that's probably the gist of mine. Like, I could recognize that it's a Rammstein song,
but
I wouldn't know what the song was.
So I was like listening to these TikToks, and to my knowledge, those songs that I had heard of theirs through these TikToks were different songs. But to me, they sounded all the same. And so I took to social media just curiously, not to bash them or, anything, aggressive or in any form.
Right.
But I had put out a post saying, like, can somebody please explain to me what the big draw is for Rammstein? Because to me, every song sounds exactly the same. It's a chuggy riff where they're saying a handful of German words.
That's a pretty boiled down way, but I mean, you can boil any music down to a couple bass things that make what their sound is. So yeah.
And I was getting a lot of comments where people were saying, "Oh, their stage presence and their shows are so theatrical." I was like, "That's great, but what about their music? I said,
Right.
look at Kiss. People used to bash Kiss and say they only depended on their theatrics and their makeup and never looked at their actual songwriting.
That's true.
Where nowadays people are doing the opposite with Rammstein. Their shows are so crazy, the fire and the way they perform. But look at their songs; they're so simplistic.
Yeah, and they are, and I guess that they're a band out of time a little bit too because they've endured because of who they are and what they do.
Yeah,
But they're also from that late '90s, early 2000s peak of weird new metal and chuggy riffs and. Oh man, they're singing in German. That's crazy.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong, Du Hast is a cool ass song. Cool.
Like I have a friend that I met at a Comic-Con years ago, and this Rammstein is her life.
No, that's.
And I don't get it.
That to each their own. I was gonna say that's
again,
only
to
odd
each
me.
their own.
Yeah, it's not my thing. It doesn't have to be.
Absolutely, to each their own. I won't bash you for making that your thing, because obviously for me, my big ones are Weird Al, Alice Cooper. That's
that's a topic we've already touched on. But no, I
but yeah,
it's everybody. Well, I mean, you gotta find. I think we talked about this, and I don't know how far we got into mine. We got in pretty deep on your love of things last time around.
Yeah.
But I can easily tell you that, and I think I might have pointed out. I've got Huey Lewis records hanging on the wall.
I always forget of how big of a Huey fan you
with
are.
my Beartooth stuff behind us, my Breaking Benjamin, and there's just stuff that I said if I can find a vinyl one of these days in a shop. If I find a Tupac vinyl, I'm putting it up on the wall because that was a big influence in my life too. Everybody has things that you don't expect, and you don't have to understand, but we all like what we like. And for guys like us, it's a musical influence. But for some people, it's not an influence. It's what they need or like to listen to because they're not musicians.
Right.
But music's for everybody.
Absolutely.
I always say that music is for everyone, but not all music is for everyone.
Right, I like that saying. That's very good.
Yeah, everybody needs music, but we don't all need everyone else's choices. Nobody needs to be, that's mine, you should like that. I mean, I do that to people a lot. I mostly tell people what not to like. But that's just my personality, I guess.
And it's actually really funny that you say that because that can kind of lead into my next topic, which is the one that we were discussing earlier.
Yes. Now let's preface this. Jake went on an internet tirade the other day. he wrote a small novel, which no one reads anything that long except me apparently. But he has some issues with the currently very popular T-Pain covers that he's doing, which I will give you my opinion on some of that after I let you do you have a long opinion here, and I'm going to do my best not to interrupt you, and I'll say what I have to say. So feel free to tell the story to the folks.
So it was, what was it? This was a couple weeks ago now that it was released.
I believe, yeah.
And I again been seeing
TikTok.
videos, TikTok, and people were like, "Oh, this is crazy." He covered War Pigs by Black Sabbath, and again, me being a enormous Ozzy fan and Black Sabbath fan, I was like, the Sabbath is legendary, and it's very hard to do a cover justice. There's people that have covered Sabbath that have done it justice. Case in point, Hot and Dangerous.
Yep.
They do Children of the Grave, and they do it more than justice.
Right,
it is fantastic. But so T-Pain releases this cover of War Pigs. I was already against it.
You went in with a bad attitude.
I did. However, after seeing the numerous TikToks of people saying how good it is, and I had heard the snippet of the TikTok that T-Pain had posted of it, and it was the first verse. So, like, the generals gathered in their masses section, and that part sounded awesome.
The first thing I heard too.
And so I was like, I was starting to lean towards it a bit, and then one of my fellow co-wrestlers or co-trainees had come up to me, and they're like, "You gotta listen to it, like it's so good." And I was like, "All right, I'll give it the time of day." So I think I was on my way to training, and I was like, I'll listen to it. So I put it on. So you know, in the original, it opens up with that big E chord, and you know, Geezer Butler's grooving on the bass.
Right.
Immediately, they're not grooving on the bass. He's just laying on that E. There's nothing that's keeping that rhythm in the T-Pain version.
Huh.
So immediately I'm like, all right, well, we've already lost that feel, because like, you know, you hear that and you start kind of grooving along to the bass. That doesn't happen in this T-Pain version. So already I'm like, I'm bummed. So then we get to the first verse, which is what we've been hearing on TikTok. Sounds like it sounds like T-Pain covering Black Sabbath. I wasn't against this. But then as we get farther into this first verse, which is the parts we don't hear on TikTok, we start hearing unnecessary drum fills, unnecessary guitar licks in the first verse, which again was starting to annoy me. Because you can do a cover and make it your own, but don't make it so much your own that it just turns into your own song.
Right.
Which I will probably...
It's no longer a cover. It's using someone else's stuff to make an original point.
Right. Which I will probably repeat myself a couple times throughout this rant. But, so we get to the section where he's like, oh, Lord, yeah, and it goes into the next section. He adds in some little, like, I guess you'd call it, like, scatting throughout that little first part. And it's good. But then he starts singing, like, out of key and, like, in these weird, like, lines and stuff. And it goes from being, again, his little ads to just singing whatever. Which, again, was then starting to annoy me.
Right.
So, already I've got a list of things that have annoyed me in this cover. And, the song keeps going. And the farther into the song we get, the more... they're not playing the song. They're not even playing the same riffs. They're not playing the same licks. They're not even playing the actual song.
So at that point, they changed it to a different song.
Oh my God, yeah.
Which was your point?
Yeah, and I'd say about halfway through the song, they're just playing a different song that's in the same key as War Pigs. And T-Pain's singing War Pig lyrics over this other song. And... I couldn't stand it. I didn't even finish the song like towards the last 30 seconds. I turned it off and I put the original War Pigs on.
Just to cleanse your palate.
Yes, because like I just said, like we just said this a little bit ago, you can do a cover, but when you do a cover, do what's on the original recording.
Change the key or change the tempo or change the style.
Yeah,
but keep the song. Yeah.
Right. If I'm playing. Like, for instance, if we're going to do another one, Bites the Dust, that bass lick is
necessary.
Yeah, is necessary.
It's necessary for that song.
Just because we play another one, Bites the Dust, in the same key, but we're playing a completely different bass lick, or we're playing a totally different drum part,
right,
with singing Queen's lyrics over it, that's not a Queen cover. That's us writing an original and couldn't come up with lyrics.
Right.
And,
That's what you felt with this.
Yeah, absolutely. Because it went from being what I would call a okay cover for the first minute and a half, turned into just this amalgamation of noise and just nonsense with War Pig lyrics over it. And it drove me nuts.
Well, I would say I don't disagree with you. I think it went a little weird. I mean, I don't feel strongly about it as you do, but I didn't anyway. I was caught up in, again, the TikTok and the internet going, holy shit, T-Pain can sing other stuff, and I don't mind what he's doing. It's just, I agree, it just sounds weird. I did, however, kind of enjoy, I don't know, have you listened to anything else from that?
No.
The Journey cover is actually a lot of fun. It's the same kind of feel. It's him covering Journey and kind of doing what he wants with it to make it work for him. Yeah. And that's what I thought about War Pigs. It's the same thing in a bass sense that I've done with covers for a long time. I gotta make them work for where my voice sits.
Right.
I don't generally try to re-sing things. I just try to find a way to make them work for me. He was generally changing it to fit something he had in his head. And again, I think the Journey cover is kind of fun. Yeah. Would I listen to it on a daily basis or anything? Absolutely not. And I now not even thinking what the other songs already has on there. I'm kind of blanking out, but nothing was like, oh, this is the worst thing I ever heard. And then 2 days later, I see it, like, oh, Jake did not enjoy this.
I was so irritated.
Well, that goes to that's a good thing we can even talk about. What I'm sure you have a couple in your head, but there are songs that I know. And again, for being in cover bands all these years, you go looking for different versions of stuff.
Yeah.
There's a handful of songs I think are absolutely how you do a cover song.
Oh, absolutely.
And most of mine are all in the rock world, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
But for me, and this blows people's mind because I'm so anti Five Finger, but their cover of Bad Company is probably textbook how you cover a song.
Yes.
It sounds like Five Finger Death Punch. It's their tone and his voice, but it's still the song.
Yeah.
And it just makes it sound to me better than the original in a modern sense.
Right.
And that's it pains me to say that, but it's on the top. That another one for me is the non-point cover of Phil Collins' "In the Air Tonight."
I love that version of that song.
Such a good cover, my goodness.
Did you hear? I don't know how new it is now, but their version of "When Doves Cry."
Yes,
I love that version
that's
too.
That's in the last few years.
That's pretty recent.
They're a great band. Beyond that,
Which, by the way, did you see them? Who they're going on tour with? It's, oh Lord, this is a stacked list. It's, oh Lord, it's Cold Chamber.
I remember seeing this poster now. I can't
Cold Chamber, Mudvayne, Guar, Nonpoint, and Butcher Babies.
Yeah, I couldn't remember who all it was. I remember seeing like the poster for it. Yeah, that's a pretty sick. As a city, pretty sick lineup.
Yeah.
Do you have any covers that stand out to you as a guy who does your own?
I mean, covers for me. Actually, the first one that came to mind that, to me, like you said, is how you do a cover is the new Daughtry, where they covered
with
Separate Ways.
Hale.
Yeah.
I just actually heard that. I had to listen to terrestrial radio yesterday at the camper.
You poor thing.
The internet wasn't working. I was like, well, come on. I have to say, I've thought about this for years, and it's not a big deal because nobody listens to a lot of regular radio anymore, I think. But the rock station out of Baltimore, 98.5, Hot 98. I forget the call sign now, but they are just a kick-ass like rock station for playing modern and old stuff.
Yeah.
I have people I've known people at 105.7 local here for a long time.
Yeah.
But I've also been a very open critic about as much old classic stuff as they play for a station that claims to be all about new rock music.
Right.
And there's something for everybody. Obviously, they're doing their thing.
Yeah.
But there was so much new stuff that I'm used to hearing on satellite that played on that radio yesterday.
Really?
And one of those being, now I don't listen to regular terrestrial radio anymore, so I don't know what the X is spinning anymore.
Yeah.
But that cover, that Daughtry and Lizzie Hale cover, I don't know if it's Daughtry and Lizzie Hale or if it's Daughtry and Hailstorm.
I think it's Daughtry and Lizzie.
But either way, that's probably the most recent cover that's just, man, that's how it should be.
That's how a cover should be done.
Yep.
Like, it's still the structure of the original song.
It's still the song, but it's
in the style of Daughtry.
Yep.
And that, to me, is how you do a cover. The same way, like, when I do covers, I will never change how a song is written. I will play it the way I play songs.
Right.
And the way I think, how like, if I was in a band with a Jake project, and I'd said, here, this is how the song is going to be played. Right. Or how I think this band should play this song. And we play that song. Same way, like, when I was with, like, the Lamp, and we would do Your Love. Right. We did it in the style. We did kind of steal that from you.
That's my jam.
We did the song in its original structure, but we would do things in the style of Light the Lamp.
So you did it in different tempos, maybe, or different maybe slightly different key, things of that nature, something to match what your style of that band. That makes sense.
Yeah, because we played in E flat. So
if you don't change the structure of the song, you can change the tuning all day long as long as you can make it sound right.
Right.
I mean, I've heard songs that are just standard songs that someone's dropped down to B.
Oh,
you know, like that's just, it can work if you do it the right way.
Right.
So I mean, there's lots out there. I mean, and they're all over the place. I've always loved. I used to cover years ago. There's an old song called "King of Wishful Thinking." Old 80s tune. Yep. But there was a cover in the early 2000s by Newfound Glory.
Oh, really?
That I just think is a much cooler, and they did it in their style. Newfound Glory had 2 albums where they did covers from movies, like the theme from Titanic and, you know, stuff from the Karate Kid. Like it's all in their style, and it's like 6 or 7 songs per album, from the screen to the stereo, 1 and 2. If you just want a cool thing to hear, like old movies, 80s and 90s movie themes done in their style, awesome. Look it up sometime.
I gotta listen to that. That's pretty cool.
I just love the way they took that 80s vibe, and that original song has a very 80s synth pop kind of vibe, and they made it sound like a New Found Glory song.
Yeah.
That's another one I thought. And Disturbed is a band that does great covers. I am not a fan of Sound of Silence, and not because I don't appreciate the original one. I don't like to be that depressed. But that cover of theirs is top notch.
Oh, absolutely.
Am I tired of hearing it? Absolutely. Not as much as Bald Dave, because he has to sing every time he plays his Disturbed tribute band Stricken. But he gets props for it all the time. In fact, somebody posted a video that he reposted, I think, yesterday. Mm-hmm. The last gig they did in Altoona or something a couple weeks ago.
Yeah.
Somebody at the bar or in the other band, somebody had not seen them, posted a video of him singing it, because he does that. Basically, they play a track of the background because it's all symphony stuff, and the guys walk off stage. And this guy was so impressed he had to take a video of Dave. And Dave doesn't toot his own horn much anymore. He used to back in the day. All singers do it, but he reposted it because he was clearly happy with how it sounded. Yeah. And that is a good cover. Yeah. I just, it got played to death, and I got tired of oh my God, David Draymond's a good singer. No shit. He always was. Just because you guys only hear the weird noises on Stupefy and stuff, I can sing. That's, and they years ago had, of course, they had a cover of Shout on their first record.
Oh yeah.
Which was just awesome.
Yeah.
And I'm missing one. What's the other cover they did really well? Because they did one on an
the Phil Collins one.
Oh, Land of Confusion.
Yeah, Land of Confusion.
I covered that song. Gee, that version. I know they did a cover on a later album between that and Sound of Silence that I forget what it was, but it wasn't great.
Yeah.
And it felt like, they expect a cover from us. Let's just do this one.
Right.
And Five Finger Death Punch, I think, did that when they did that awful version of the Offspring song.
What Offspring song?
Going Away.
Oh, I didn't even know they did that one. It's terrible.
They made it super slow. I don't know. People loved it. Again, people love it. They love them. I don't. But they know how to make a cover. They even have a cover that I don't think everybody was really happy with by they did an LL Cool J song. Mama Said Knock You Out.
Oh, yeah.
And I think their version is just a cool, updated version.
My brother-in-law loves that one.
It didn't go off anywhere. Nobody's like, oh, that's the cover we got to hear from them. But I actually enjoyed it. There are some things of theirs I do enjoy.
Or their version of House of the Rising Sun.
That's okay. But I felt like that was them trying to capture what they did with Bad Company.
Fair.
Because that came afterwards, and it's not bad. It's just not.
It's an okay cover.
It's an okay cover. Yeah, I mean there are bad covers out there, but there's locally good ones. I mean they're gone now, but at some point at length I'll get into a rant about Negative Space. Back in the day, they were top notch. Jimmy, I know you're going to listen to this. Please keep your ego in check so your head fits through your own door. But they did a cover way back, a basically sped up, almost pop punky version of Faithfully by Journey.
Oh, really?
Which I actually, in a band I was actually in with one of the members, Jimmy, that same said drummer Jimmy. We actually pulled that over in my band Johnny Chimpo and did that for years.
Okay.
We loved it. I have a recording they did like a rough studio recording. I have it somewhere. It's just, again, it wasn't just because they were friends or they were good at it. There's a way to do a cover.
Yep.
Take a song that's so slow, and for Journey it's an iconic, slow ballad. Yeah. And they made this fun, kind of party band groove thing for bars. It was great.
Yeah.
Lyndhurst rolls into that
the Rick Astley one.
Rick Astley cover, and that is its own joke because of the internet, but that's not a bad song. I remember a good 80s tune that really worked, and somehow it became some internet meme about getting rickrolled.
Yeah.
But their version of it, the version Ed came up with, is excellent.
I remember the first time I heard that, which was, I think, the first Lyndhurst show at West York Inn.
Oh, okay. I had seen Ed do it. Ed was doing that when he was doing his solo stuff before he formed Lyndhurst, so he had a couple songs out that he would do.
Yeah.
And he was playing as a one-man thing. He had a looper and sample, and I saw him do that on his own one time. One Music or one of those things, and I'm like, yeah, man, you get it. Now, Ed also has a cover background, so he gets it too. In fact, his band Gunmetal Gray does a very good cover of Hotel California.
I love that version.
And I think that's pulled. They could correct me. I think that's pulled a little bit for some other versions that are out there.
Yeah,
and they definitely made their own version of it.
Oh yeah,
and it's excellent. I just saw that they had a video posted from a new club they played up in Harrisburg last Friday night. A place
Oh,
called
yeah,
Nocturnal,
yeah.
which is the old hardware bar for those of us who are old enough to remember that place. I think that place closed before you could go into a bar.
Probably.
But and the crowd always digs it, and I had actually forgotten how good that cover was. I haven't been able to see those guys in a long time. But
Yeah.
you know, again, there's plenty of local bands doing some cool, not just straight one-to-one covers. They're doing some great renditions.
Yeah.
You know, and then bands like mine, like Fell From Zero, will steal those, like like that Taylor Swift cover from I
Blank
Prevail.
Space, yeah.
Blank Space. I love doing that version.
Yeah.
I know I Prevail will never play it live again. They so much as said they've got 4 albums with their own music. Why would they do that?
I remember when I used to be so against bands that got popular off of a cover.
I think there's still a stigma about that. There's still people. I mean, those guys, using I Prevail as an example, big fans in this house. They've gotten Grammy nods and won Grammys now, but there are people like, oh, you guys are just, you know, you got big, you got famous and big because you covered something.
Yeah.
You know, they covered something really well and got them noticed, and then they got a record deal out of it, and they've made 4 good albums because of that.
That's what changed my mind on them. Was initially I was that like kind of stubborn, like, oh, you got big off of covering somebody, but then, you know, knowing what goes into making a cover, and then like you just said, they did it in their own style.
If you don't know that's a Taylor Swift song, or you're not a fan of the original,
Yeah.
you would have no idea that's the same song.
Right.
They're not even close. Like vocally, they sound obviously nothing alike.
Yeah.
But it's still the song. I mean,
Yeah.
I actually tried learning that song acoustically, like her version.
Oh, really?
Just because I know the lyrics so well.
Yeah.
And it just feels weird.
Yeah.
Because no one's yelling at anyone. No one understands it.
But like, yeah. So what changed? Like, what also like led me to that is I had a friend that was whose brother was huge into them, and whenever we'd go and hang out or something, they would be playing, and they'd be like, "Oh, this is I Prevail," and then I started to get a little bit more into it once I started hearing their original material,
stuff.
and then because I think it was it Gasoline?
Gasoline is
That's the one that hooked me.
Song. And that's 3 albums in. I mean, that's when.
Oh yeah.
No. Their current album has some really. I like a good heavy, in-your-face, ballsy song, and they have a lot of that. Good driving.
When Body Bag came out.
Body Bag is such a good, and that song got nominated for a Grammy.
Body Bag is my go-to workout song.
And there's again, you guys are just a bunch of guys that got famous from a cover.
Yeah.
They didn't get rich from it. In fact, they're probably not rich now.
Yeah.
People don't understand it. There are very few people that are rich from the music industry.
Right.
You know, you got to be like top of the. You got to be Taylor Swift.
Yeah.
You know, to make that kind of money these days. So
one band that I've also been extremely stubborn against, and still am, because like you know your hatred towards Five Finger. I have a hatred towards this band, and that's Greta Van Fleet.
Oh my God! You mean we're not even trying to pretend that we're not Led Zeppelin?
Great Value, Led Zeppelin.
Yeah. Oh, that's perfect. I've never heard that before.
Oh my God. I remember
Greta Van Zeppelin, yeah.
Exactly. Like I remember the first time I heard Highway Tune, which again I've heard people cover it,
right?
Hot and Dangerous, and they do it justice. It sounds fantastic when they do. However,
if you didn't know that was Greta Van Fleet, you'd just sitting there covering some Zeppelin song you never heard before.
I was on vacation when this happened. I was on vacation in Jersey, and my brother comes in the room. He's like, "Dude, you gotta listen to this song," because he hates Zeppelin.
All right, I actually don't disagree with him. No, I don't say that's not true. I don't hate Zeppelin. I just there's a 70s classic rock building blocks of all modern rock stuff that I just can't get into.
Right. I have my own opinions on Zeppelin as well.
Zeppelin's one of those that like, yeah, man, I get it, but I don't care.
Yeah.
Like, I'm never gonna sit down and listen to Zeppelin albums. It's not my thing.
Right.
So yeah.
Yeah. So he comes in. He's like, "You gotta listen to this song," and he plays the video for Highway Tune, and he doesn't show me it. He just plays it, and I thought this was like a new released Zeppelin tune that was like an old track that they found and remastered, and here he shows me it's these kids doing this song. I was like, "Oh, that's kind of crazy. He sounds a lot like Robert Plant, and the whole band sounds like Zeppelin, and this and that." But then I started to see the trend, where they were everywhere, and every title I saw on a post, on an article, was modern day Led Zeppelin.
Second coming of Led Zeppelin.
Yeah, which is what annoyed me.
Me too.
Like, I can understand if you have classic rock influence from bands like Led Zeppelin, and when you start a band and you start to sound, like, pull from that and create your own sound,
right?
Awesome. But when you start to pull from them and sound exactly like them, and that's what's making you popular, that's when I start to not like you.
Right.
Because you're rising to fame on somebody else's sound.
Someone else's back, yep.
And still to this day, I see them on TikTok or I see them on social media, or I'll hear a new song that they release, and it's like,
yeah, I've formed, and again, I will use Five Finger because that's who I always go to for what my number one, a good band that I can't stand because I don't like what the singer has to say and his whole attitude. Hell of musicians, he's a hell of a lot better writer than I'll ever be.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's just fact, but I don't have to like it.
Right.
But I don't like that they are popular for the sake of being popular. I think some of their songs are just retreads. It's like the reverse Nickelback. We talked about how everybody hates Nickelback because all their songs sound the same, when in fact they don't, just their radio songs.
Yeah.
Because they know how to make money.
Right.
Chad Kroeger's not stupid.
Oh, absolutely.
I'm sorry, it's Kruger.
Is it Kruger?
He just this last year they've been doing a lot of interviews. I see a lot of stuff on TikTok, them breaking down their songs, which I enjoy whether it's Nickelback or not. It's the band talking about how they wrote this song and that song. Like, we had this riff, and then he started singing this. We're like, oh man, I love hearing that behind the scenes stuff. But he actually went on, and they were, they go on and they like look at their own memes.
Yeah.
Like, oh, that's hilarious. The graph one. But he actually said, people have been saying my name wrong for 20 some years. It's Kruger. It's pronounced Kruger. And he said the media's been calling me Kroger for so long, I just didn't feel like correcting him.
Yeah.
But that's actually how you pronounce my last name.
Huh. I learned something new today.
Oh, shit. Which I'm sure everyone was like, oh, well, shit. Yeah, that's the verse thing. Everybody gives them shit about that. Five Finger Death Punch to me is just the metal version of that.
Yeah.
Their shit all sounds like the same song. Or not necessarily instrumentally, but he's talking about the same shit every time. It was like, this is the greatest song he ever wrote.
Yeah.
Just like the one he just released, which sounds like the same song. Like,
yeah.
That's a lot of my bitch. Not that they're not talented musicians, and I guess there's some talent in the guy, clearly, but his personal demons are making him tell the same story for 10 albums over and over.
Right.
How is no one bored with this?
That reminds me, because when you brought up Nickelback and kind of backtracking to the covers conversation, and I think I might have even talked about this on the last episode, but if you haven't heard it, Nickelback's cover of Sad But True, the Metallica song.
I'm sure I have.
It's not a studio recording. It's from a live festival or something. And it looks like it's from the Silver Side Up era.
It probably was.
Like, he still kind of looks like Cowardly Lion at the time.
Oh.
And
put him on.
Yeah. I think it was my sister that showed me this, because she knows that at the time I was huge into Metallica, and she's like, "Oh, listen to this this Metallica cover that Nickelback did." And I was like,
Here we go.
Yeah, but then
right.
But then as soon as he comes in with that first, hey, oh my god,
he has a better voice, and I always point this out, and there are detractors. Believe it or not, I find it hard to believe there are people out there that don't like Corey Taylor from Slipknot.
Oh my god,
they don't like him, and I don't get it, or sure.
It's okay to be wrong.
That's my argument sometimes. That Corey Taylor not only really likes him and Chad are friends.
Yeah.
But Corey Taylor's a Nickelback fan.
Oh yeah.
One of the big issues back in the day with them was because Roadrunner signed them, which they were really only known for Slipknot at the time. And it was like, we're a metal label. What are you doing? Like, making money.
Yeah.
Like, if the guy who basically, and Slipknot has since long left them. And in fact, I'm not even sure if Nickelback isn't just on their own label. And I know he has his own imprint. That he signed Theory of Dead Man, some other bands that label when he got it. That was early on. But there are people who are far more influential in the metal world, like Corey motherfucking Taylor.
Yeah.
That think, hey, this is okay, and you just people won't let it go.
Yeah.
I don't know. There's always going to be some band or some, artist that everybody's going to come after. There's always the one guy. It depends on the genre, Well, that gets almost to a political bent, but Lil Nas X.
Yeah.
I don't care for any of his stuff.
Yeah.
It's not going to be my thing. I get why people like him and why he was polarizing, but there's something they're going to point at about this guy. And I don't even know who Sam Smith is, but he had that whole thing recently in the Grammys or something where they did the performance. He was like a devil.
Oh,
and all the moms groups were losing their minds. Yeah. And who gives a shit? My God, there's other things, even in the music world, that are far more important than that.
Right.
And I just watched a video yesterday on TikTok, where I watch everything. Who doesn't?
I can always tell when you wake up, because you send me so many in the mornings.
They're coming from my super important personal information. Yeah, please take my identity and make it better. It was Pink and Kelly Clarkson. They just had the iHeart Music Awards last week.
Yeah.
Kelly Clarkson singing a Pink song, and Pink stands up in the audience and starts singing with her, and they get on stage, and it was like an emotional experience. Like, hearing people that can sing that well, and Pink, I'm a rock guy, but man, that woman can
I have a soft spot for Pink.
sing. My God, and Kelly Clarkson too. I always thought her voice was beautiful. It's something like that, something out of the box.
Yeah.
So good to hear just these two women with these great voices, and someone's gonna find a reason to hate that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, there's somebody on the internet going, well, I didn't like her hair. That's very what the hell, man? Enjoy it for enjoying's sake. I don't know. That got way off the cover song mark.
It really did, but
this is going to be our format now. Tangents.
Yeah.
We should name this. We should just name this podcast
Tangents.
Tangent, the podcast. Now we're going to stick with that.
It's funny when you say about Pink, because like I said, I have a huge soft spot for Pink. I love her music, always did. But I have a playlist on my Spotify that's just it's called Guilty Pleasure Songs.
Oh yeah.
And it's like, I think at least the first 10 songs are Pink.
Well, it should be.
It's like Pink.
That woman can't write a bad song.
Oh no.
When I first got into the biz all those many cycles ago, put it in Star Wars terms, you wouldn't understand. We're getting to that segment in a minute. Her first album when it came out, and that was when it was the MTV land. You could turn on MTV and you'd see a rap song, an R&B song, a rock song, everything. And her first album came out. I was like, man, this is awesome.
Yeah.
And she's easy on the eyes too.
Oh yeah.
Still is. That woman does. She ages flawlessly.
Quite fun to look at.
But I listened to that album. I bought that album because.
Oh really?
Yeah, I listened to that over and over. I'm sure I still have that CD somewhere.
Is that the is that the album that has So What on it?
No.
No.
There You Go was her first single, and if I remember the album cover right, because that's what made me trigger. It's just a picture of her close up with glasses on, and of course her pink hair she used to have.
Yeah.
No, So What I think is her second or third album.
Is it? Okay.
Yeah, that was when she really started writing like stuff about that she wanted to write.
Yeah.
That first album is definitely a formula. We're gonna make you a star. Here's some songs you're gonna sing. Right. But and I bought it in her. Oh, she's from Philly. She's a PA girl. It's all this
right,
stuff.
She is.
There was so much more going on with her than talently, in her talent. Than we were gonna ever see if she didn't break out on her own. So. Right. Yeah, she's not a guilty pleasure, dude. That's not. I used to say that about Huey Lewis too.
Oh really?
People are like, you got a guilty pleasure? I'm like, you listen news. I don't have any guilt about that. Not one damn bit.
If you would see that Guilty Pleasures playlist, like Pink is the tamest thing on there.
Hey, playlists are for what they need to be.
It goes from like Pink. I think there's like 2 Spice Girls songs on there. It goes to Shakira, J-Lo. I'm pretty sure Plain White Tees are in there.
That's eclectic. That's the word. I mean, nothing bad there, but you're right. That's an odd. I wouldn't expect to see you pull a playlist together like that.
I gotta be in a certain mood to listen to that. Like, that's like I need to unwind, so I'll put that on.
Well, and we have that kind of stuff like at work. I'll put on like an R&B station on satellite or a hip hop station because that's the kind of clientele we have, and most of my employees they're less into what I listen to and more. So I hear a lot of that stuff, but if it's made after like 2010 and it's any kind of hip hop, I can't do it. Yeah. It's mumble rap and it's weird nonsense that doesn't mean anything. I guess I'm just out of touch. But I remember when not just rap songs, but music in general was supposed to tell a story. Yeah. And yeah, sure, there's a pop formula to make money, but I can't with the stuff. I can't.
And if you go all the way to the bottom of that playlist, you got, I know this might be a surprise, but so there's In Sync at the very bottom of that playlist.
Dude, also not a guilty pleasure. I bought No Strings Attached at midnight.
Did you really?
When it came out because it was so catchy. Yeah. And then that's back when they had the making of the video thing on TV. Mm-hmm. And you could see, like, it was like 24/7 In Sync, and I was just like, damn it, this song's good. I'll do the rest of it. And I did. I made my wife go to Walmart at midnight when they were allowed to sell it. And I made her purchase it, so everybody asked. I'm like, I didn't. Here I am admitting on the internet. I paid for that CD. She just handed the money over.
You know, I've only ever gone to a midnight release of anything, whether it be music, movies, video games, or anything. And it was when Endgame came out on DVD. And I waited in front of Walmart.
To get it?
Yeah, to get it. On DVD. I didn't buy it on Blu-ray because I didn't own a Blu-ray player.
I don't even know if I actually physically own Endgame. There was a point in the Marvel movies where I just started buying everything digitally. Yeah. Because space. I have bins of DVDs and Blu-rays that I just don't even watch. Like, why do I have them? At least I have the digital and then, of course, Disney rolls along a few years later, and I can get access to any of those movies at any time. But Yeah, I used to do. We did a couple of midnight viewings of movies.
Those I've done.
We did the Harry Potter stuff with our kid.
Yeah.
He, that was just the thing we always did, and I do more opening nights than I do when they started rolling opening nights back to like 7 p.m.
Yep.
instead of midnight.
You mean like before bedtime?
I think the last midnight showing we went to, which actually I think they started at 10:30, but it was like the earliest they do then.
Right.
Was the last Harry Potter movie.
Okay.
But after that, like all the Marvel stuff, I try to catch the 7 o'clock opening night.
Like when we went to see Doctor Strange.
Yeah. That's my go-to thing. Number one, it's usually always a Thursday, and I don't have anything going on.
Yeah.
Can't screw up my band schedule if I don't. In fact, I don't know how I'm going to see Guardians. We're going to be in Nashville.
Oh man.
And
you might have to find a local theater and go.
Go to a local theater. I'm like, we might have to wait till we come home. Just stay off the internet. We'll see it Tuesday when we get back. But yeah, I enjoy that. And music-wise, I used to go when I was working Thursday and it was like New Music Day.
Yeah.
I would go. That was back when they still had the Wall in malls. You might not even remember.
I do kind of remember the Wall. Yeah.
I mean, basically, it was FYE before.
Yeah. Okay. Yep.
Less knickknacks, more all music. But,
right.
I used to go into the mall. I'd stay up after my third shift job if something was coming out till 10 when the mall opened that day, so I could get like first dibs on the new cassette or CD. And then I made friends with there was a local record shop in one of our towns, and I actually would beg him like a week ahead. He had them. Most record stores have them a week in advance, and I would beg him to let me. He's like, I can't. If somebody finds out I sold that to you, I won't be able to sell. I won't get any new stuff anymore. Like, who's gonna know in old Myerstown, Pennsylvania, that I've got this new Naughty by Nature album you gave me a week early? And he did that one. That one he let go, and it was not their best, so I can see why it wasn't a big deal.
It still exists. There's a record store. I mean, now they sell records, music, video games, and all that kind of stuff. But my whole family, like the ones that still buy CDs and such, we know that they do the same thing still. So like they'll always have it a couple days prior. So we'll go in and make.
Nowadays with the internet, man, you can get it a week early if you really, there are websites I've heard that you can get that stuff early. I've never been beyond such a thing.
Damn Napster.
Oh, Napster. Man, again, I'm sure there's a billion of them out there. We could do a whole podcast episode on Napster.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of cool stuff like that you can do. But it's whether or not people really want to do it anymore. Yeah. And that actually ties right into that last internet comment. Mm-hmm. It's hard for people to go out and physically buy something and get an excitement for a midnight showing or review or opening or grabbing an album, you know what I mean? Grabbing a new NSYNC album. Yeah. Man, if those guys made another album, they'd make a mint. Except the only one that doesn't need the money is Timberlake. But
I think it was on TikTok. I think because I follow Lance Bass on TikTok. Right. He did a podcast recently with one of the members from Backstreet Boys, and they had said, like, picture this: stadium tour, NSYNC, Backstreet Boys, Spice Girls.
It'd be like today. Oh, $700 for nosebleeds. You know what?
Oh yeah.
Yourself.
That would be the same as like when Motley Crue just did their stadium tour.
And I think we've all seen the videos where we know that's not worth the money.
I have the videos from when I went to that.
Man, I mean, I'm not a Motley Crue fan, so I mean, but I understand why people would want to go see them after. Like my wife, huge fan, grew up on them. Yep. But I would never pay that much money for what clearly is not a good sounding show.
Oh no! Wait,
I don't need to spend hundreds of dollars on nostalgia. I can do that at home on guitars.
The only reason that I wound up going was because and I'll always remember this. I was at work. This is back when I was doing construction. Right. We were on our way to our last job for the day, and I get a text from my old guitarist, Andy, and he's like, "Hey, I got a friend who is, they got different tickets, and they have a set of 2 tickets, and they're selling them for $20 a piece. You want to go?" And so I was like, absolutely. So, I think I Venmo'd him $20, and then I got off work, and we went and saw the show, but it stormed.
That's right. I remember that in Hershey.
And they postponed the show for right until the storm would end, but as soon as the storm ended, they sent Joan Jett out on stage. People weren't even in their seats yet, because they put them underneath the seats, she was on stage and people were still just coming out and getting into their seats. And we wound up being late because of all the traffic and stuff.
Right.
So we missed Joan Jett.
That's a shame because she's amazing.
I have seen her
twice now.
I have seen her once when she opened up for Styx, and she was fantastic.
Yeah, she really is. She still rocks it.
Oh, yeah.
60-something, whatever she is now.
And I was so bummed that I missed her. But again, at the time, I had already seen her. So
Right.
I think in that entire lineup of Joan Jett, Poison, Def Leppard, Motley Crue?
Yeah.
I had seen 3 out of the 4 already. The only one I hadn't seen at the time was Poison. And they switched the stages so fast between
Because
Joan.
of the time delay.
Yeah,
People are already behind.
from Joan to Poison, it had to have been 15 minutes, and because we got out of our car, and she was hitting the last note of her set, which was, and I want to say it was Bad Reputation.
That probably makes sense.
And it was either Bad Reputation or I Love Rock and Roll, one of the two.
I can't remember what she ended with the 2 times I saw her.
But so she ended the set, and we're kind of booking it to the stadium to get in there, and we get in and all that, and the intro reel to Poison's already playing, and so we're like, all right, we got to get going, and then the show started, and they came out to Look What the Cat Dragged In. Which, me being, I would say, me being the 80s hair fan that I am, I was in all my glory.
Well, you should be.
And then Motley Crue hit the stage, and
It was time to go home. Yeah,
there was.
I don't think I've ever had a storm delay show.
I had a storm cancel the rest of a show.
You know, that might have happened to me once. I can't remember anymore.
This was at a show at Hershey Park Stadium. It was the show of the summer. That was the title. It was like it was a festival type deal.
Gotcha.
That I went with a friend that whose parents had won tickets, and we didn't really want to go, but we weren't gonna let the tickets go to waste. So who was the last lady that I actually knew? Something Carpenter, Christina Carpenter. So
I don't know.
I forget her. I want to say the last name was Carpenter, but I forget. She came out, did their first song, and they made her leave.
Oh.
And some random tech guy came out. He's like, "We have to cancel the rest of the show because there's a storm and a tornado watch coming in."
Oh shit.
And we looked out. And it was hovering over Chocolate World. That you could just see the dark clouds, and we're like, "Let's get out of here." Because we used to both of us worked at Chocolate World at the time. Okay. So we parked in the employee parking lot. And we're booking it. And we had just, I'd say we were just feet away from the car, and the storm caught us, and we were drenched.
Oh, I've been caught in those.
I was so mad.
Yeah, I've been caught in those too. Yeah.
And the other act of that show of the summer that I say unfortunately saw was Jake Paul.
Oh. And on that note, yeah, I think we're running long again.
A little bit.
We do that. We talk. That's what happens.
Tangents.
It doesn't matter to anyone except me because I got to spend 6 hours editing. But, okay. Those are the 3 things I have to look for.
But, and okay.
We, before we head out, I want to bring up something that I plan to bring up. For all that don't know, I have an issue with Jake.
Oh, no.
Because Jake...
Oh.
I understand that he's younger than me by all but half. But we have a lot of the same interests. We've seen a lot of same things. But I found out recently Jake has not seen some very important pop culture movies in his lifetime. Never watched them, not even some of them. And I am just blown away by this. The one that's probably more personal to me than the other ones is Scott Pilgrim.
Yes.
I mean, you can't see out of frame, but I have Scott Pilgrim stuff all over this room. He's never seen Scott Pilgrim vs. the World. He's a comic book creator, a musician, into stuff like that. My God, man. My God. You are missing out on one of the best movies ever made for people like us. I'm not, hands down, I'm not even kidding.
Yeah.
The star power in it, just the way it's done and filmed, excellent. And I just found out this week they're doing an anime sequel.
I did hear about that,
and the entire voice cast from the movie, Chris Evans, Mary Elizabeth Winstead, the guy that played Scott that I'm blanking out on. Oh my God, what is his name? Michael Cera.
Yeah.
Like everybody that was in that movie is doing their character voices.
Really?
I don't know if it's a readaptation or adaptation of it as an anime, or they're doing a sequel, which is weird because a lot of the characters don't make it to the movie.
Right.
It's a whole. It's almost like a video game thing. It's crazy, but he hasn't seen it. That's number one on your list. I'm gonna do a feature from these. I'm gonna have Jake watch these movies and then quiz him the next podcast.
Oh God, it's like a pop quiz
on whether or not he actually watched it. We're gonna see if stealing this from one of my podcasts I love. We're gonna find out if Jake's been paying attention. But on that list is not just Scott Pilgrim vs. the World, but classics like Jaws.
Yep, never seen Jaws.
He's basically never seen an entire Star Wars film, and I understand not everybody's into Star Wars, but it's like one of the biggest franchises of all time. How have you not made it through the movies? That's a whole other genre of thing.
I'm trying to think of how far I've made it into episode 4. Because that's the only one I've made it the farthest into.
That's the one. There's a watch list for Star Wars. They say now with all the sequels and prequels that you can do to make it chronologically right.
Right.
And for the story, they say you should watch episode 1 and 2. Oh, no, I'm sorry. Episode 4.
Okay.
Episode 5, which is Empire. You get the big reveal that there's no spoilers to that anymore. And when you get that reveal in Empire, you go back and watch 1, 2, and 3. You can skip 1 if you want to. It's a terrible movie.
Oh, I saw 5 minutes of 1.
It doesn't set up a lot. You can watch it for the setup. There's some cool shit with Darth Maul and lightsabers, because at the time we hadn't seen any Star Wars on screen for like 10, 15 years.
Yeah.
So seeing guys have a lightsaber battle was cool, but it's not great. But you could watch episode 2 and 3, then go back and watch Return of the Jedi, which is 6.
Yes.
And then watch the sequels. Or some people hate the sequels. I think they're just good. They're the same story with new effects. But there's an watch order that makes the story make sense. Or you can watch them as they're intended. Watch 4, 5, and 6. Go back and watch the first 3. You know, watch Rogue One and Solo and the stuff where it fits the way it came out too, because that's the way I saw it.
Yeah.
I saw it in order of when it was released, not order of the story.
Right.
Whole nother thing. Also, and this one's just a personal thing for me because I don't know why you haven't seen this movie, because it fits right into some of the lower budget stuff you like, but also it was at the time a high budget movie. We talked about this the other week. RoboCop.
Oh yeah.
Dude, that is some of the best 90 minutes of my life as far as like the 80s schlocky kind of violence.
Yeah.
But it had a budget, so it looks good for the most part and still kind of holds up. But a movie like that could never ever be made again.
No.
You've got, I'm going to just give you projects, but I'm telling you right now, Scott Pilgrim's first movie. If you have time to watch the other ones and get ahead, great. But you're going to watch that before we get together again. I don't care if you have to watch the morning of the podcast. Hell, I'll watch it again for the 7th time. I love that movie. That being said, that's going to be a feature from now.
Oh, yeah.
Let's find out if Jake's been paying attention. Or something to that effect. We're going to find a name for it. Hello, Jingle. It'll be great.
Movies that Jake hasn't watched.
Yeah. What's Jake been watching? Not this.
Nothing.
That being said, just stuff like that I want to get into on this podcast. Little things that it gets us not only just talking about how our week was and what we got going on, but, well, there's some shit we can learn. I'm sure there's some stuff you're going to force feed me an Alice Cooper album or something like that. And we can go back and forth with, hey, have you ever heard this before? Nope. Now I'm going to ask you about it. So we'll get there. Think of something like that. It'll be fun. So, anything you want to plug besides your book coming out? We're talking about this. You're obviously still doing your training with 3 Legacies.
I was just going to say, 3 Legacies, upcoming show, April 29th in Lancaster at Brightside Opportunity Center here in Lancaster. And our show...
We have our show
April 15th.
April 15th. Obviously, Dave and I have the duo gig on this Friday the 7th at Valley Tavern. I forgot to mention earlier, I have a solo gig at Falls Hotel on the 18th. I believe you booked another one there too, didn't you? She said you contacted her, or
I did, and she has to send me some dates.
Okay, so you didn't book it yet, but she did tell me that you contacted. So you'll be back doing that thing.
I have dates. I made a big step and I bought a planner.
Welcome to 1997, folks.
I hate using the calendar on my phone for some reason.
I'm more digital, brother. I'm about technology. Skynet, come for me. I'm here for my robot overlords.
I'd rather have just a pen and paper in a book that I can write it down.
At least it's there.
But I have to look at my book. But I know I just set, I think it's 3 dates with the Fredericksburg Eagle.
Oh, you played there
Okay, a
before
handful of times, yeah.
Yeah. I played there once years ago, but I mean that's obviously not far from hometown.
Yeah.
So.
And that's like for me too. Yeah. Well, yeah, because
we
we're
can
for the
skip
same,
over there with a guitar and hey,
oh yeah,
woo, here I am.
Everything's just loaded in the trunk of my car and just here I am.
Yep.
I love that now. Now I don't have to lug an amp around with me and stuff.
Shout out to Headrush Effects.
Yeah.
In particular, Bob Patterson for forcing it down Jake's throat.
That took so long till I pulled the trigger on that.
But it's so worth it.
Oh yeah.
My God, so worth it. And I don't even play the amount of styles and things that you'll mess with on it. And I said that to you.
You should see my downloads folder of how many packs I just downloaded from the forum.
I'm going to point out that if for any reason they want to sponsor the show, the good people at Headrush Effects, good times. They make some excellent stuff. We're both users of the product. So,
Absolutely.
I mean, if you'd like to see some videos of us using your product, that might be a different story. Yeah, I can change the foot switch here. Look, I'm using a different patch.
This does a thing.
A lot to learn, but the days of digital stuff not being quality anymore are long gone, and not having to take an amplifier, not having to take this giant thing to shows. That thing weighs more than me. I'm never taking it out of the game again. This sounds awesome. Also, shout out to Mesa Engineering, a subsidiary of Gibson USA, and our good friends at Ampeg. Anything else I have in the background, ESP, PRS, whatever. I mean, anybody wants to sponsor Pepto-Bismol, I don't care.
Oh, please.
Sam's Club water, it's delicious. But we got a lot of stuff we can get into and a lot of stuff to talk about. Maybe even one of these days we'll play a song for people.
Yeah.
Maybe get on here and jam out. And we got guests coming. In fact, if anybody's listening has any ideas of somebody they want to hear us talk with, maybe we can get them in the studio here. I'd love to have everybody sitting with us.
Yeah.
But even if we have to do some sort of, we'll go remote and talk to them and bring it to the show later. But if you've got bands or local musicians, artists, I don't care, comic book people, whatever, wrestlers.
Yeah.
Maybe we should get one of your fellow trainees, your coach sometime. And
yeah.
We can come to you guys. We'll do a remote and stuff like that. I mean, that's what this is about. I don't think we were ever going to pigeonhole this into just music. It just needs to be our main drive.
This is Jake and Bob just talking.
Yeah. Hey, welcome to the Talk Hour with Jake and Bob. Also, I'll do voiceovers. I don't know at this point. But I think that's probably going to do it for episode 2.
Yeah.
We are going to hopefully get on some kind of schedule. Of course, this weekend will be out. It is Easter here in the States.
Yep.
So coming up, so we will probably not get together as we do get together on Sundays. And it's a holy day, if that's what you're into. But we'll try
also my birthday.
Oh.
Actually, it's the day before my birthday, but we're going to just celebrate it on Easter.
Oh, your birthday's Monday?
Yep.
Oh, well, happy birthday.
Oh, thank you.
Ahead of time. He's 17 now.
Yeah.
almost old enough to vote and go to war. Maybe 25?
25.
25. Quarter of a century old this year.
I'm getting old.
Your insurance goes down this year.
My insurance.
It's the best thing I can tell you about 25. Other than when you get to 46, 25 was awesome. I'm going to go back. That being said, I am Bob.
I'm Jake.
We are Nailed It the Podcast, and we will see you guys next time. See you.